Welcome to another edition of Rants, where I come on and go off about, well, whatever's honking me off today. Well, I guess it's time for part 2 of the Rachel Richardson saga here on Rants. In our last episode, I talked about how the outside hitter for Duke Volleyball was claiming that someone in the stands during the Blue Devils match with BYU shouted racial slurs at her. However, the BYU campus police did a pretty thorough job of investigating the situation, and they could find no evidence that any sort of racial slur came from the crowd directed at Rachel Richardson. Now, in a normal world, this would be the end of the story and Rachel Richardson would apologize. However, we do not live in a normal world anymore, and I'm going to get to more about the Rachel Richardson incident and all the new developments that have come from this right after this word from our sponsor, H2O Health and Water Solutions. Does your toilet have rings that always need cleaning? Do you have hard water spots on your shower doors, calcium buildup on your faucets? Just imagine what all of that is doing to the inside of your washing machine, dishwasher, refrigerator, your hot water heater. What about the pipes inside of your body? Buy a filter or be a filter. You can have clean, mineral-rich water without the buildup of unwanted toxins in your body and throughout your whole home. Call Vicki Johnston today at H2O Health and Water Solutions at 928-899-7504 or stop in and see her at the Prescott Gateway Mall. Well, like I said, in a normal world, Rachel Richardson would apologize for this mess, but she has not apologized. In fact, over the weekend, several college volleyball teams from across the country publicly showed their support for Richardson over her false allegations. Now, late last week, the American Volleyball Coaches Association put out this release, quote, "A group of volleyball coaches are encouraging the VB community to wear black on Friday to acknowledge that you will stand against racism and act if you, your staff, or student athletes experience racism. Hashtag blackout racism. Hashtag stand with Rachel Richardson." End quote. Yes, stand with Rachel Richardson over a racial incident that did not happen. And then here just came the virtue signaling surge on Twitter. This from the Penn State women's volleyball Twitter account, September 2nd. Hashtag we are, hashtag blackout racism, hashtag stand with Rachel Richardson. Harvard women's volleyball Twitter, September 2nd. We will be wearing black this weekend to stand with Rachel Richardson and show support for all black women in our sport. Hashtag blackout racism, hashtag stand with Rachel Richardson. Here's another one. This is from Northwestern Volleyball on September 2nd. Black jerseys for a reason today. Hashtag blackout racism, hashtag stand with Rachel Richardson. And there are other similar tweets from Maryland Volleyball, Hawaii Volleyball, the Big East Conference, several other volleyball teams from around the country. We stand with Rachel Richardson and we denounce a racist incident that the BYU police have found no evidence of. And it gets worse. Yeah, if you can believe it, it gets even crazier with this story. South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley announced that she has canceled the home-and-home series between her team and BYU over this incident. Also, Richardson was interviewed on ESPN's Outside the Lines, and the hosts, they completely accepted her story as the absolute truth. Even though, as Richardson was on that show, the reports started coming out that cast a lot of doubt on her allegations that a fan in the student section at BYU yelled racial epithets at her. And then, of course, guess who has to stick his nose into this? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's none other than one of our favorite people here on Rants, LeBron James. Of course he did because, well, he's LeBum James. Now, LeBum tweeted out to Richardson's godmother, who, by the way, it turns out she in the past has tweeted some very inflammatory things about white people. So this is LeBum's tweet, quote, Tell your goddaughter to stand tall, be proud, and continue to be black. We are a brotherhood and sisterhood. We have her back. End quote. Again, all of this is being done after the BYU police conducted a thorough investigation. They interviewed people in the stands. They even interviewed the student who the allegation was leveled against. They looked at video of this. They found no evidence of anyone shouting a racial slur or multiple racial slurs at Rachel Richardson. Yet these morons are acting like this incident actually happened. And I'm wondering if they are so desperate to hold on to this narrative that the U.S. is the most racist country in the world, that they will ignore facts and just prop up the lies of Rachel Richardson. And another thing I wonder, if a lot of these college volleyball players who were part of these Twitter posts, stand with Rachel Richardson, I wonder if any of these volleyball players have actually seen the stories about the BYU police investigation into this. Now, I cover a lot of college sports here in the Prescott area. I deal with a lot of college athletes, and trust me, I know college athletes are extremely busy along with sports. They got their classwork to do. Also, a lot of them are involved in all sorts of community projects and school projects. So a lot of them probably don't have the time to constantly check news feeds and whatever. But here's the other thing. What about the coaches of these young ladies? Have they seen the stories about the BYU police investigation turning up nothing? And if they have, are they deliberately hiding this information from their players? And if they do that, then as far as I'm concerned, they're a bunch of dirtbags. If you show that the narrative is more important than the truth, if the coaches are doing that, then as far as I'm concerned, they are just a disgrace to humanity. And I'll tell you what, if I were that BYU student who was accused of shouting that racial slur at Rachel Richardson, and as far as I know, this student is still banned from all BYU athletic facilities. But if I were that, or actually, I would give the student this advice. I would tell him to get yourself a lawyer and hop on the lawsuit train and just nail Rachel Richardson, Duke, BYU, NCAA, whoever is in your sights, because these kinds of allegations, false allegations of racism, should not fly, and they're going to take away from any legit claims of racism that come out in the future. Well, folks, that's going to do it for another edition of Rust Rants. Be sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe across all of our social media. That is Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, our new YouTube channel, KYCA Digital. Be sure to subscribe to that. Also, share this video. Let's fight the YouTube algorithm on this. Also, be sure to check us out on kyca.info. Smash the like button and leave a comment on this video. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Till next time, I'm John Rust. I'll see you soon.